Welcome to the JCPod, partner with Stand On Sports. I'm your host, Jane Chandler Parnell, and man, 66 days till football's back. It's unbelievable how close we are. 66 days till NFL comes back, which means that it's time to do some breakdowns. I'm thinking next week, I'm pretty sure, 60-70% positive. I'd say maybe even a little bit higher, maybe potentially 80% next week. Then we're going to start doing some breakdowns like AFC, NFC, conferences. We'll go by division. So, I'm thinking AFC North Tuesday, AFC South Thursday, and then next week we'll do the other two AFC, and then, we'll see. That's what I'm deciding if I want to do one a week or two a week. Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. Potentially might just do one a week, make it a big old Tuesday episode, especially because the news is kind of dead right now. There's not a whole lot to talk about. We got a little bit today that we'll discuss, but nothing too crazy. And the reason, too, we're going to go sorry, I thought something fell on my chair, but the reason we're going to go so heavy football today as well is because my boy Rowan, Thursday, we're talking a little bit of WNBA. He's back from his vacation. He's back from, pretty much just back from his vacation. I don't know where I was going to go with that. Won't even lie to you. So, we got a little bit of WNBA to talk because there's been some changing in the standings. I have not counted up our points since the last time we did it. Last time I checked, we were tied with our draft and everything. So, it's going to be a fun one, pretty much. So, like I said, today it's going to be heavy football talk. Thursday's episode will be a lot of WNBA talk, and then next week we're pretty much starting some more breakdowns. I'll probably give out a few more futures as well. That's going to be upcoming here soon. Can't wait, man. It's going to be a really fun one because, like I said, every day we get closer to football, it's just that much more fun. Like I said, we'll hop right in. We'll go into some NFL news to get us off. Like I said, there's not too much to talk about, so this episode's probably a little bit shorter. Not too much to get into. Nothing too crazy has happened. Aaron Rodgers, reason why nobody could find him, apparently he was in Egypt. The reason he missed minicamp was he took a trip to Egypt, but he was there for a lot of where they didn't really need him in the beginning. What's that called? Voluntary minicamp, I guess. I don't know. I think there's a better name for it. I can't think of what it is, but he was there for a lot of those this year, and then, he wasn't there for minicamp because he's in Egypt. But, like I said, training camp doesn't really start till, I think, July 25th for a lot of teams, and nothing's going to happen. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's Aaron Rodgers. He went on a trip. What are the Jets? I think the Jets are going to fire Robert. If Robert Saleh benched him, I think they would fire him. If they punished him, I think that anybody who punished him would probably get in trouble. So it's not very hard to say that, Aaron Rodgers can kind of do whatever he wants over there. So the fact he went to Egypt, nice little vacation during training camp, mini camp right before training camp, just a little getaway. Because, I think that they would rather get rid of Robert Saleh and everything before Aaron Rodgers. But, man, I'll tell you someone who I'm really excited for that I've been watching some more stuff on, Garrett Wilson. I've watched a little bit of his tape from last year, a little bit of stuff that's, man, just like that one catch he had against Buffalo. I watched that game back again. That was a really fun game. He should be so good with Aaron Rodgers. That's hopefully. I got to double check to see who all's on their roster. I don't think there's anybody. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody who's going to just destroy and eat up all of his targets. I think that we could potentially looking at Devontae Adams' numbers. Because if you don't remember from last year on Hard Knocks, Aaron Rodgers came out and pretty much said, this kid's special when he was talking about Garrett Wilson. I can't remember who he was talking to, and I can't really remember exactly what he said. He basically called him special, but I think he used better words, and he did different verbiage than that, but he basically called him special, so I'm really excited to see how he does. The offense has a chance to be really good this year. It's just the Jets, and as of late, the Jets have just been the Jets, and something always bad seems to happen to them. So I'm curious to see how far they'll get this season without something bad happening to them. I don't think you can get I'm not going to say it, but you don't think it can get much worse than losing your quarterback first 4 plays of seasons. They at least have a backup now, so if Aaron goes out, he's at least somewhat the backup's at least somewhat capable, I guess is the best way to put it. Because I believe it's going to be Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, Tyler Taylor or Jordan Travis are going to be the two. I'm assuming Tyrod Taylor's going to be the backup all season. Very, very capable of Aaron Rodgers and missing some time. Ex-Raiders coach John Gruden loses bid for reconsideration in the NFL lawsuit. Along with that, he was seeking to get... where is this at? Gruden is seeking monetary damages, alleging that selective disclosure of the emails and their publication by the Wall Street Journal and New York Times destroyed his career and scuttled endorsement contracts. I mean, I don't blame him for trying to get money, but it sounds like it's potentially not going to happen. But yeah, ever since, I mean, shit, those emails got leaked, and it was really, really quickly that everything happened. All of a sudden, it was like, oh yeah, he probably can't be our coach. That's we got to get rid of him. I mean, that was crazy. Honestly, that was a crazy time. I remember kind of when that came out. I can't remember exactly what I was doing, but that just came out. It's like, oh, holy shit. There's no coach saying that. The fact that this gets leaked, that's like, I don't want to get, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but high school I went to, something very, very similar to this kind of happened. I can't remember what language that Gruden used. I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to use it on here, obviously, but I'm pretty sure it's like homophobic language. Something very similar happened to someone who was a teacher / worked in the school / did something with sports at my high school. Something very similar happened where they meant to send an email just to one person joking around, but send it to a whole lot of people, and yeah, they got promoted by pretty much saying, hey, your career here, coaching and everything is done, you got to move on, everything you're doing, you got to move on. So they moved on, and yeah, pretty much like it sucks because he was really, really good at our school and everything, obviously, and I mean, he just said something stupid, got sent off. I mean, this is just this on a much, much, much bigger scale because, yeah, it's the NFL. And the fact that that got leaked, the second that gets leaked too, I mean, they're trying to go into pretty much, what is the word? It's not conservative. We need to damn near, I need to have like a dictionary open or something. I need a word bank up here. But they're basically going into self-preservation. That was the word. Self-preservation. Well, they're pretty much going to go into self-preservation too. That's why I need that word bank up here. I would have found it eventually. But yeah, pretty much, I mean, the second this got leaked, the Raiders went immediately into self-preservation mode. Just like, yeah, we can't have that. Got rid of it. I mean, reasonably. There was a real reason they should have got rid of him for saying that. So they just like cut ties, get rid of him, everything. And I mean, yeah. So when you do stuff like that, it's crazy to think that, or it's not too, sorry. When you do stuff like that, it's not too crazy to think that, yeah, you're probably going to lose your job and everything. So the fact that they aren't, apparently, yeah, the fact that it sounds like he's not going to get reconsideration in the NFL lawsuit, he's not going to get a chance again at this money. Not too shocking, but kind of sucks for him because, yet again, I mean, he did do it, so at the same time, you got to kind of live with your consequences. But if it is true that he kind of got selected, if there was more than just him saying it and he kind of got selected and he was like the scapegoat in a way, that's just unfortunate. Tyreek Hill is eyeing a bump in pay after this rising market. I'm very excited to just be a part of the old wave. Oh, I'm very excited to just wait, what? Oh, okay. I read it right the first time. Yes, I'm very excited to just be part of the old wave, which was $30 million, and Justin Jefferson came and surpassed that. So very proud of those guys. For guys like me, that's great. I'm 30 years old, also looking for a new deal, so very, very excited to see what I fit for that category. I do wonder how much he's going to make. I mean, he's a really good receiver. He got hurt a little bit last year. But, I mean, he was 4-year, $120 million extension in 2022. But he's been a baller, one of the fastest guys in football. But, I don't blame him for wanting to seek the money. But the fact that there's a lot of talk about the money and not a lot of talk about winning kind of tells you about all you need to know about the Dolphins. I'm not going to diss the Dolphins or anything, but, man, the more and more that comes out from them, I mean, obviously it's headlines and everything. You can't judge everything from that. Obviously, Tyreek Hill's a competitor and everything. I just don't, personally for me, I've already been out on the Dolphins. This just gives me a whole nother reason. And like I said, this is me looking way too into it and everything, and obviously, but yeah, just the fact that I like what he said though about him being ahead on the money and everything. Him being part of the old wave when it comes to the money and everything, and how he was pretty much set the bar for all these other receivers. And now that they're all getting paid, he's like, hey, now it's my turn to get paid. Like I said, I don't blame him at all. But I won't lie to you, as a person, just me thinking off the top of my head casually when it comes to the Dolphins as a whole, not just Tyreek Hill, the Dolphins as a whole, I just hear a lot of talk about money and everything, and I've seen a lot of moves done when it comes to money and everything, and not a lot of football moves I like. For example, Christian Wilkins. They didn't re-sign him. Don't like that move at all. They did not re-sign him, and instead of re-signing him, they're going to have to give a shit ton more money to Tua, which I won't lie. I'm just scared they're going to give him $50 million a year, like these other quarterbacks, give him close to $40 million a year. Tua's good, but I don't know if he's worth all that much. He hasn't won too much just yet. I don't know. When it comes to this Dolphin situation seems to get worse and worse. Scaring me a little bit for the Dolphins. And then later, by the way, he does go on to say, although the Georgia native, he goes, that's what they said before. It's cool to get paid and all that, but being able to win a Super Bowl and bring something special to the city of Miami, that's something. So like I said, I just went on that whole rant, and then in like 2 or 3 articles later that I read with something very similar along with this, he does say it. So that just shows you kind of the thing that media does. I kind of just played into it a little bit as well. That, yeah, literally, like, I read one article where all they did was talk about the money and everything, and then a little bit later in another article that's very, very similar to that, very, very similar when they talk about how he's very, very similar to the eyeing a pay bump and everything, rising receiver market. Same article, a lot of the same stuff, where they also had the part where he's like, I also do want to win a Super Bowl. Of course, it's at the end, but they at least still added it. Like I said, though, I'm glad, because that's, like, literally, that's the first time I've heard somebody from Miami be like, yes, let's win a Super Bowl, do all this, do that, at least this offseason. Obviously, I know everybody in the NFL thinks like that, and everybody acts like that, but let's hear a little bit more of it in the media instead of talking about all these contracts and everything, because the Dolphins, they got a lot to work on, honestly. You guys going to the news, like, there's Tyreek Hill talking about money, moving on, Tyreek Hill money. Dolphins offer Tua not in the same ballpark as Lawrence and Goff. This is me just going down a news feed of Miami Dolphins stuff. Everything the Miami Dolphins tag in. There's a lot of fancy stuff as well. Dolphins tag in the ballpark on extension. I mean, it's been just a lot. I will lie, them signing Calais Campbell, I did think that was a really good move. I will say that. I thought that was a great addition for them losing Christian Wilkins. But yeah, there's just a lot of weird stuff money wise, and just that's being said, being done with the Dolphins. It's just, I'm not liking a lot of the sense. There are a few moves, like I said. Calais Campbell liked the move, but overall, just these Dolphins. Can't even get this weird scent. Can't even get my nose working right with them. Jordan Addison, apparently he's showing real growth entering year 2. Coach, according to Kevin O'Connell. I had Jordan Addison in fantasy last year, so I was able to keep a little bit closer eye on him because he was obviously in fantasy, so I watched him more. I thought he was really, really good last year. And then he did. I mean, he missed a lot of the spring last year because of injury, so he kind of joined in. He was kind of a little late to get started. I mean, last year, 70 receptions, 900 receiving yards, and 10 touchdowns. Only 4th player in history to have numbers like that. He had a really, really good season last year, and the fact that he's taken another... He's going to have Justin Jefferson, too, for majority of this year. Last year, he missed him a lot. He's going to be back. I'm curious. I'm very excited for this Vikings offense a little bit. Very, very exciting because they got... It's all going to come down to Sam Darnold, though. The QB situation was got me the most intrigued. Very excited for the potential of this offense, but... I mean, you got Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, Jordan Addison... they got some real dudes on offense. It's just, is Sam Darnold going to be able to get him the ball? I mean, with Kevin O'Connell being able to draw some stuff up, I saw what we all saw it. If we watched football last year, we saw what he was able to do with Josh Dobbs. So and Sam Darnold, I would say, call me stupid. I think he has a little bit more talent than Josh Dobbs. Sam Darnold does. So I'm curious to see how Kevin O'Connell's going to really unlock him, because this is a guy that Kevin O'Connell said he kind of wanted. So that's a team I'm going to be definitely for sure keeping my eye on is the Vikings, because will we see J.J. McCarthy this season too? That's another question we could have. Another guy that I think Kevin O'Connell kind of likes. Jamarcus Russell is apparently fired as a coach, and he's facing a lawsuit. This was crazy to read about. So apparently he was fired as a volunteer assistant coach at his alma mater, Williamson High School in Mobile, Alabama. And the reason he was fired is because he took $74,000 in a check meant for a donation to the school. DeMar Ruckles was relieved of his voluntary coaching duties at Williamson in the fall last year. That the public school came out and said. A local business owner, Chris Knowles, wrote the $74,000 check saying that Russell approached him about a donation helping Williamson football team purchase a weight room and equipment. The school allegedly never received the check, and Russell reportedly deposited the credit union and promptly withdrew $55,000 of it. Apparently, also, as being fired as a coach, he's not allowed to be back on the school's campus. Russell attended an event for the football team this week, but was told he was not welcome. I mean, man. That's just crazy. I mean, it's like hearing more than $36.4 million in the salary and bonuses are in the NFL, and he's just doing... The DeMarcus Russell story just gets wilder and wilder. Just very, very shitty thing to do, honestly. Very shitty situation to be in. It just sucks that just sucks, man. Jamarcus Russell obviously had the talent. He had all this potential and everything, and obviously his mindset's just not in the right place, which sucks because obviously there's some people in the world who have all the talent in the world and just can't get the right mindset and everything, and just bad situation, man. This is just horrible. Hopefully, and it's just even worse the fact that he's probably loved that even no matter what happened with his NFL career, he's probably loved in LSU, even more loved in his high school and everything for everything he did, and now his name's tainted. They don't even want him back. His name's going to be disgraced. It's going to be like, no matter what he did, they'll be like, yeah, look at all the things Jamarcus Russell did. He's like, but he also stole money from the football team. That's always going to fall him now is that, but he also. It's always going to be there now. Aiyuk is apparently eyeing the Commanders and Steelers amid these contract talks with the 49ers. I think the 49ers are going to end up keeping him. They paid, like I said, we talked about this, I think, a few weeks ago, where they paid their guys. They paid the guys late. They paid Nick Bosa, they played him late. They paid Fred Warner late, like going into camp late. And I mean, I just don't see them getting rid. They're at least going to keep Aiyuk for this year. That's 100% for sure. I think they would have already potentially got rid of him if they were going to get rid of him. It's just, I don't know if they're going to extend him at least, or if they're just going to let it pay out this year. But the fact that he did seem very interested in the Steelers, I will admit, beforehand, and now that his buddy Jaden Daniels is on the Commanders, that's another team that could potentially be in play. So I personally don't see something happening. I think they're going to pay him he's a number one wide receiver, and the 49ers could really, really use him. I think eventually they're going to come to terms on an agreement. But if they don't, we have two teams now to look out for at least. So don't be shocked if he ends up going to the Commanders or going to the Steelers. But my personal opinion, I just don't see them letting him go. I just don't. There's no way they're going to let him walk. So I'm assuming. Let's see, everyone forgetting all the wide receivers in his classes were signed as well. Oh. It's just, yeah, I think they'll eventually come to agreements on a term. I just don't know what it's going to be because obviously he's asking for a lot. They want to give him a little bit less. So we're going to see where they end up meeting at. Apparently, NFL is ordered to pay $4.8 billion in Sunday ticket lawsuit. So this has been going on. This is a crazy thing. Apparently, this is going to be potentially, I think, paid out within. I think it's how long ago? I think it's about two. I heard from Mike Florio talked about this a little bit. Potentially, I think 2 to 3 years from now, all this could be paid out. But NFL is still fighting it a little bit. But the jury awarded $4.7 billion in damages to the residential class and $96 million in damages to the commercial class. Since damages can be tripled under federal antitrust laws, NFL could end up being liable for $14.39 billion. The lawsuit covers 2.4 million residential subscribers and 48 businesses across the United States who paid for the package of out-of-market games from 2011 to 2020 seasons of Sunday Ticket on DirecTV. The lawsuit claimed that the league broke antitrust by selling its package of Sunday games at an inflated price. And so the subscribers also said the league restricted competition by offering Sunday Ticket only on the satellite provider. Yeah, that's going to get you in a lot of trouble. So it sounds like they are for sure going to have to give out money. It's just a matter of how much money. The NFL's obviously going to keep fighting it until they have to give out as minimum as possible. But this has been going on apparently for 9 or 10 years, this court case, and now it's finally going to come to a head. And the NFL's going to have to do some stuff about it because, yeah, let's be honest, they kind of screwed up. I won't lie, I get why they made it kind of expensive because people will pay for it too because it's the NFL. And then their argument was we give so many games away free that if you want to watch your specific team, we should be able to charge a little bit more for it. At the end of the day, I talked about it a little bit. I use Red Zone, so personally for me, this wasn't too big of an issue because it's like, I planned the only game I truly, other than like the primetime games, the only games I usually truly want to watch full games of at the 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock slates at the time are the Colts games. Every other game I will watch on Red Zone. If I really need to get a watch on it, I will watch it back if I'm not watching it. Because personally for me, like I said, Red Zone, I just like being able to watch all the games live, kind of watch flows. I'll admit, you don't get to watch as good a game flows as watching just a solo game by itself and actually feeling the flow of that game. But me being able to watch Red Zone, I can at least get an idea of what's all going on in the NFL and having to cover it. That helps out a lot, honestly. But I can see how the Sunday Ticket issue could come to think. Yeah, this shit was expensive. I bought it for college because we actually ended up using Sunday Ticket's version of Red Zone as well. But we had it for college, and that shit was ridiculous. And then it even sucked worse because you bought all these. The worst part too is you bought, for example, so doing it in Chicago, we bought all these games and everything, and then Bears games were blacked out because they were on the regular coverage, which Makes sense, obviously, but for some people they weren't able to reach it, then boom, your local market's out and everything. So this is a big old thing, like I said, it's been going on forever, so they're finally, I guess, going to actually have to give out money. It sounds like they're going to give out like $4,000 to $5,000 per person type money. So this could become like big money if this actually gets settled in the higher, like $14.9 billion, I believe the number was I said. Crazy. Because yeah, the NFL is only making more and more and more money, which is crazy. So yeah, I mean, shit. They might be having to give some of it back. With that being said, we're going to move over to college a little bit because there's like I think there's actually only one thing I really want to bring up. We're going to go to college real quick, and then we'll end it with just kind of like a plan for what the plan is for tomorrow. Or sorry, not for tomorrow. I'm recording it tomorrow. The plan for the episode that comes out Thursday. But yeah, big thing I want to talk about in college football. Ollie Gordon arrested on suspicion of DUI. I'm going to see real quick if this changed. Actually, we're going to talk some betting odds before I get off, but before we do that, this Ollie Gordon situation, apparently he was a street trooper in Cleveland County, Oklahoma, reported seeing Gordon swerving in his black 2024 Cadillac. Vehicle was clocked at 82 and a 65, which actually is only 13 miles per hour. It's not horrible, so honestly, like realistically, if he wasn't swerving, he might have been able to potentially get away with it. Just because I'll admit, some cops are super strict, obviously, but I'm sure most of you know if you drive, most people drive. I mean, you can get away with going about 10 to 15 over in like some areas, in a lot of areas, you can get away with going 10 to 15 over if you, as long as it's like reasonable and you aren't swerving and everything. Like usually, you're able to. Like I said though, you probably shouldn't go that fast most places. Anyway. Apparently, so yeah, the trooper pulled the vehicle over, smelled alcohol, and found half-full bottles of vodka and tequila inside of it. Gordon, who's 20 years old, arrested and registered a breath alcohol content level of 0.1. Okay, so basically 0.11, 0.10. So, it's just tough. The only reason I want to bring this up is just because like it's going to be, that's Oklahoma State's like guy. He's going to be a real big part of their season upcoming. So I don't know. And it just sucks because it's just a dumb mistake. Hopefully he can learn from this and he doesn't continue to do stupid shit like this. Let's be realistic. Not even call it stuff. Call it stupid shit. Because dude's throwing away the chance at millions of dollars. He's a really talented running back. Ran for 1,700 yards last year, and he's going to be one of the main. If they make the playoffs this year, he would be a really big part of that. They moved the odds back up to plus 950 since the DUI. That's hilarious. I literally wanted to look it up just for that reason. Because, oh man, I thought that was funny. But yeah, before we get out of here for the day, I want to quickly just go over betting odds for college football. I just want to make the playoffs because college football is upcoming. I just want to quickly just throw some numbers out there to just give, because college week 1, August 24th. How many days away is that? 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 50, 51. Like 50-ish days away from college football. Before get 2 games on 24th kickoff, and then some games on 29th, and then 30th follows the rest. But, like I said, to make the playoffs, I just want to talk some few teams. So you got Ohio State, who's the biggest favorite, minus 650. You got Georgia, Oregon right behind them. Texas, Notre Dame minus 70. Penn State minus 145. LSU plus 125. Alabama plus 120. Michigan plus 115. Some teams that I'm going to be interested in making the playoffs. Just off the top of my head, these are just some teams I'm going to be looking for. Missouri potentially is a team that I'm going to be looking at after the season they had last year. Plus 180, that's not horrible. Utah plus 260, they have a chance because they're always good. I do not like the U at plus 210. I think they should have way bigger odds. I do not. They have a lot more to prove to me. They looked horrendous last year. I need to see a lot more of them to start the year before I even give them a chance like that. Liberty being at plus 450, that's interesting. I actually kind of think I like that because they usually have really good seasons. NC State plus 470, I don't think I'm going to do that one. Louisville plus 500, that's one I might keep my eye on. I do not mind that at all. Iowa plus 650, that's one I'm keeping my eye on. Kansas plus 700, another one I'm keeping an eye on. One I've already bet, and we've talked about on this show, Oklahoma State plus 950. And these are all teams that make the college football playoffs. I like them to potentially do it. Virginia Tech at plus 950. That's another team I'm very interested in potentially doing it. And then past that, that's when you get into all these long shots like Washington, Wisconsin, Tulane, Nebraska at plus 1,000. So if I'm going to give you guys, they got Texas State at 16-1. That is crazy. I won't lie. Some of these teams, I was just going to look at Purdue. So you got Jackson State at plus 6,000. The fact that they have Jackson State over Purdue kind of makes sense because of Purdue's schedule. I was just curious to see, like, if they even had odds for that. I don't think they even do, which is hilarious. They have odds for Connecticut. They have to have odds for Purdue, I think, right? But yeah, that's kind of, I just said Purdue, 130-1. You bet $1, you can win 130. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I just want to see the odds because of the hometown team. Shout out. Or not home. I guess they are the hometown team technically because they are that close to me. But yeah, but those are some of the teams, like I said, I'm interested in. James Madison, they lost their coach, or I would say them. Like if this was last year, James Madison might have been the play, but no, I don't know about this year. TCU at 15-1, they might have a shot, but I don't know. Like I said, so far the lowest odds I've taken is Oklahoma State at plus 950. Probably will take Virginia Tech as well, plus 950. I like Iowa at plus 650. Kansas at plus 700. Those are some of my favorites that are way down there. And then moving on to some of the higher odds, Missouri plus 180. I do enjoy them, I would say. And then, yeah, past that, everyone else I kind of like right now is minus odds. So, yeah, that's probably going to do it for today. Like I said, it was probably just going to be a really quick one today. There's not too much going on in the NFL, which is nice now because, like I said, I've been slowly doing everything to prep for it. So, it's time. We're going to start doing some breakdowns. Like I said, I'm at least going to do one next week, I think. Some weeks I might do two, but I think for majority of them, we're just going to do one a week. My boy Rowan's going to probably come on every other week, so maybe the weeks that he comes on will be the weeks I do one, and the weeks he's not on, I might do two. Kind of deciding. I don't really know for sure yet, because I just want to... We have like 50 days pretty much. Like I have... until college football, at least. So 66 to NFL. So like I have time to kind of break down some stuff, but I also want to talk about some college football teams. Like I want to go deeper into some of these to make the playoff breakdowns. Like I want to go deeper into those. So we're just going to have a lot that hopefully we're going to be able to do here soon. Because yeah, right now it's been a lot of just off-season news, kind of talking here and there. Now we can start going into some projection and deep dives. I've also just been waiting because it's like, I want to talk about it so bad, but nothing's worse than me talking about it and then getting off and be like, man, I got 100 days still to wait for it. 66 on the other hand, now we're a little bit closer. We can start talking baby QB battles. You know, who's going to start between Jacoby Brissett, Drake May. Bunch of stuff like that. So I'm very, very excited. All that's pretty much upcoming here soon. And it's going to be here. 66 days till the NFL, about 53-ish, 50 to 53-ish until college football. Man, cannot wait, dude. I just can't wait. It's just so close. It's so damn close. Finally, we've been waiting, especially because now hockey's over, a lot of the basketball's over. I mean, shit. We just got WNBA, baseball, some golf, racing, and then we got that beautiful football. It's gonna be right around the corner. Before I end it real quick, what I want to talk about, what I'm going to do tomorrow or Thursday with my boy. For those of you curious, what we're going to talk real quick, just some simple stuff. We're going to go over golf picks for the weekend. We're going to talk a little bit of catch up on WNBA, what's going on. We're going to talk some All-Star potentially, who our All-Star teams is and who we think the coaches of each All-Star team should be. And then we're going to end it with him talking about the finals matchups he thinks will happen, who's his favorite team to make the playoffs, and a sleeper to potentially watch for. And then we're going to talk a little bit of WNBA draft. That's going to be Thursday's episode. And then like that, next week, breakdowns and future bets. Because, man, it's that time. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for all supporting. I really do appreciate it. I will see everybody back in this feed on Thursday for a little bit of WNBA talk with my boy.